We're ready now. Now we got our act together.
Well, I've heard, most of the stuff I've heard has been in this building. And this area behind me, where the general store stuff is.
Uh-huh.
Daily, when I'm up here, every day I'm up here, there's always tapping and rapping and knocking.
I wanted to ask you about that because when you guys were over here talking a few minutes ago, I heard it sounded like somebody back there knocking. And it was dum 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 dum. And I said, is that you guys knocking? And then it did it again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I did not have the camera on when that was going at that time.
Well, a lot of knocking, a lot of different stuff, rattling. That happens every time I come up here.
Uh-huh.
A couple of things that really startled me. One day I came in here, it wasn't open. I came in here to get something out of the back workroom. And I opened the door, came in here. I don't think I even turned on the lights. I came in here and went to the bathroom and came out, and I heard voices in that back room talking. Just kind of like, almost like a radio kind of sound, you know.
Kind of white noisy-ish.
Yeah. And that startled me. And I thought it was the alarm system, but the alarm system went on.
Uh-huh.
So that really startled me. I've heard knocking upstairs in the storage room when I'm sitting over there by the desk. I've heard knocking there. I've heard knocking outside on the doors. And I've gone around trying to debunk stuff, and I've heard footsteps where nobody's walking out here.
Yeah.
And that's happening in this building. Now, next door at the old museum, the jail, the light has been come on off, and I've had to go over there and turn it off.
Yeah. Well, me and Jimmy are gonna go over there tonight. We're gonna spend the night over there and see what happens.
Yeah. And that's always been, the most interesting about that jail is the light coming on at night.
Now, which
It's always been physically, I had to physically turn it off. It wasn't wiring. I looked to see if it was wiring, it wasn't wiring.
Uh-huh.
I had to physically turn it off.
Now, which room is it? Is it
This room on this side,
the
the east side downstairs.
so it'd be where the residents of the jail would have lived. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is I'm trying to get some ideas where to set cameras up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd set one up there for sure. Now, something happens in here every day, like I said, and mostly it's just tapping and knocking and popping.
Uh-huh.
I think some of it could be maybe the building settling, but these buildings should be settled by now. It's almost 5 years old, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
I've tapped, and it's been answered,
Uh-huh.
I've tapped and they've tapped back. And so that's pretty common.
Yeah. Now, how about in the? I know you used to have the phones over here in this little building here. Now, have you guys had anything happen over here since you moved them over here?
Now she's had the phone ring. She's been on the phone talking
Uh-huh.
to people, Texas Historical Commission, and have the old dial tone start in on the new phone, which is bizarre. Because they don't use those old dial tones.
Yeah. Because those are
I
strictly
haven't
for
had anything
rotary
happen in
phones.
that room because I don't spend a lot of time in that room.
No.
I hung it all up, and only time we go in there is when we go take tours in there, pretty much.
Okay.
Now the bed, I've seen the bed in here.
And that's the
behind
bed
you.
that's behind me,
Yeah.
right?
Now I've seen it come in here where it's like somebody had sat down on it. It's been indention. Seen that. What else have I seen? I'm trying to think. I've walked into the cabin, and I've seen the chairs been moved since the last time I was in there.
Uh-huh.
The big cabin.
The big cabin?
Seen that. And that's about it. Most of the paranormal stuff that I've seen, like full body apparition stuff, has been in Los Angeles, the lodge.
Yeah.
So I kind of know the difference between the knocking and the different stages of paranormal activity. And
Well, I think a lot of people do. I mean, if you're in your own environment and you hear something out of unusual, it's like you know, that's never done before. It kind of piques your interest as what's going on.
I had a studio in downtown Wasatchie in it was an old doctor's office, and stuff would crash. It sounded like a crash with stuff falling over, and I'd go into those rooms and there'd be nothing there. But I haven't had anything like that happen here. Big, huge sounding crashes.
Yeah.
I think Sandy's heard them, but I haven't heard them.
Well, I can vouch for the knocking because I mean,
Yeah.
I heard that earlier, but
Yeah, and it's back here.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
always
it
back
was
here.
in this room.
Yeah.
It wasn't outside because you can hear the difference. Somebody walking on a porch or knocking out there, but it sounded like it was somebody knocking on that counter back there somewhere.
Yeah. The jars rattle, knocking, the old cash register ding.
Yeah, and I know it isn't because somebody's walking back there because it's all concrete
Oh,
floor.
yeah.
So it's not caused by that.
And I've been, just before Casey worked here, either I'd be here by myself or Sandy be here by herself. And it was always, you know, I'd heard it then, and the knocking, I mean, the knocking I've heard really loud was from upstairs,
Uh huh.
like on those windows.
Yeah.
And we've had some phantom looking, I don't know where it come, condensation ooze fluid come out down over the workroom door.
Uh huh.
And I've been up there and looked, and there's no pipes anywhere on that part
Yeah.
where it's coming from.
Well, I mean, you can look up there right now and see that there's no plumbing up there. There'd be no reason for it.
And it came out of that beam right there, right underneath that beam, and there's nothing upstairs underneath that beam.
Huh.
But I've always felt kind of odd presence up in that storage room. There's a lot of stuff up there, you know, it can be residual.
Well, yeah, I mean, with all the different stuff you guys have got in here from different time periods and
Yeah.
stuff, you got to figure the people that owned it that are gone now may have a little bit of residual with it.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff here just due to the fact that
Yeah,
you have so many different things that belong to so many different people.
yeah, yeah. And I think we're sitting on a very charged area. This area of the town was the old jail. And
Well, this probably used to be the center of town too, this block right here.
Yeah, yeah.
With the jail there, the sheriff living there or living next door to the place.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could understand where there'd be a lot of that because of the goings-ons over
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
And that's what I do during the day, so I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on there that's not pleasant. People passing away in an untimely manner or getting hung.
and especially back then, no telling what really happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially if you look back to the records, you've got a lot of colored people that got hung here. And it's like, if I was colored back then, I'd be back hunting, going, hey, look, I'm
Yeah.
not happy.
And I think it's, you know, there was probably a lot of people killed around here that nobody reported about much either. You know.
Oh, yeah.
It was the Wild West, they had saloons all down here and everything, you know.
Yeah.
And they had horse thieves and hanging right on the
Yeah.
spot. Well, you wanna do a little interviewing? Well,
Back for round two?
well, that's good, that's what I
Okay.
got done.
Go ahead.